So, good afternoon. So, my guest today has been a teacher, he's a motivator, he's inspirational. So, I think it's only fair that he introduces himself. So, my guest today, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course I can. Thanks very much for having me, Sylvette. My name is Suley, and I'm the founder of SGPT. So yes, rightly said, I was a teacher for many years in the fitness industry for adult education, personal training now for 13, 14 years, online class instructor, studio class instructor. Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
Great introduction. Can you tell me what made you decide to become a PT?
Right, so funnily enough, I was asked this question not even that long ago, so I'm glad you've asked. Believe it or not, I was actually studying at university film and theatre, um, which many people don't know. So in my third year in graduation, I then started going to the gym quite a lot. And a friend of mine, who you're quite familiar with, Lee, joined the gym with me. And after a few months, said, "Have you never considered going into fitness instructing?" He said, "You've taught me everything that I know, and it seems to come quite natural to you." So again, still really didn't have much intention of taking it on as a career. I thought maybe a sideline as a hobby. But when I went and did my intensive course over the summer season, I think I graduated on a Thursday and I joined a new course on a Monday it started. And my tutor at the time had such an impact on me, and he enhanced my learning journey by 100, level 1000 it went up to for sure. And I thought, this guy's been such a role model to me that I would love to be that for other people. So I then took on that role and then just carried on. And then from there onwards, yeah, found a job in a gym, and then it carried on onto one-to-one PTs. And that was my inspiration. So my tutor at the time, for sure.
Okay. The next question is, we're currently in a pandemic. So, can you tell us the impact you've noticed on mental health, particularly with clients or your surroundings or people that you're familiar with?
Oh, wow. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I start within my own household, firstly, there's been a big change of people around me that I know for sure are not that way inclined to stay kind of secluded. So that was a big part that kind of woke me up from the beginning. Even in myself, people see me as the Mr. Motivator, positive, smiley character, but you can't always be up. And I think that's a big part of it. And as long as you acknowledge that, it's what you then do with it. But in regards to my clients and my squad members, without realizing, a sense of unity and family has really helped pull them through. So off their own back, many people have just kind of reached out and just said, just seeing your stories on a day-to-day basis is really infectious with the energy, and it's just what I need to kind of kick me up out of bed in the morning to get going.
Mhm.
Mental health has affected people very differently. Some people have kind of kicked back and let it beat them. I had this conversation with my dad not too long ago, and saying that I've noticed that he's actually been beat by lockdown, and it was quite worrying. Mentally, he was kind of just giving up. So it was a big part of my obviously motivation to get him up and out again. So I'd make sure that I called them daily, make sure he was getting up, his movement and whatever it might have been. But same with clients, there has to be a certain barrier that I can't cross, but I do make sure that I open it out to people on my stories and just ask if anybody needs any kind of touching point or a little base to feel like they've got that. Sometimes what's difficult about it is we might not have the answers, so to speak, but
Yeah.
I think just by being there for somebody, and when they allow themselves to vent off of their own back, when they're expressing their emotions, or it might be their problems out loud, they often find the answers for themselves.
Yeah.
So just having people, the squad's got a real nice family unit to it. You being a part of it with your family is one thing, but just seeing the variety of age ranges, I think people seeing that it's not a niche market where people, we're all in this together to a certain degree, and I know we're in our own houses and so on and so forth, but it has had a massive impact for sure.
Definitely. I think going forward, particularly with in terms of social media, one of the biggest topics people talk about currently is body positivity. And we had
Mhm.
the likes of Serena Williams being body shamed by Aaron, who's a Romanian tennis player, talking about the way she looks. Can you just run through what you will say to someone with regards to body positivity?
I mean, in regards to body positivity, we have to remember first and foremost, nobody has our body. right? And that is the baseline. So first and foremost, we wake up, we see what we might be happy with and vice versa, what we might not be happy with. Our personal hang-ups are exactly that, they're personal, right? So if somebody comes to me who is fairly slim, but still says they wish to lose weight, it has to be delved into a little bit deeper to that. What is the reasoning behind it? You know, I can't say, whoa, you're far too skinny. Why do you want to do that? They must have their own reason. I may not agree to it, but I have to be open to listen to what it is. The body positivity on social media, in my opinion, has taken a downward spiral. It's being used and targeted at the wrong people for the wrong reasons and in the wrong processes as well. A lot of it is kind of false media.
Yeah.
You know, these people are not achieving those bodies the way in which they're saying they are.
Yeah.
I can only comment on my own social media and what I have the power of putting out there. And a lot of people say you often don't put a lot of kind of ab pictures up, Sully. Why is that the case? You know, you don't pose under a particular light and have your abs out. One, because they're in hibernation right now. Yeah. All the sugar intake might have taken a bit of a beasting over Christmas. But that aside, more than anything, is because I don't find that that's very useful. I don't wish to engage with my following by putting a picture of my abs or my chest or my bicep or whatever it might be. Yeah, there might be a few flex photos on there, but it's more about the caption and the body positivity side of things. For me, I try to relate to people to show my stories are where I really push that. And by having everybody else put their pictures up, then the following obviously that I've got can then see, oh wow, that person's over 60, that person's in their teens, that person's in their mid-30s. They've all got different bodies. And that's the main thing about it. So I don't know, I'm not really a fan of the current body positivity push that's out there on the social media platform. I can only obviously, like I said, talk on behalf of what I put out there, and I do my best to portray as best positivity as I can through my captions rather than the actual image itself. The image is just kind of the hook at first to get people in, which a lot of people use that for. But yeah, I am quite concerned, shall we say, about what's being pushed out there for the younger generation, especially because they're so easily influenced.
I totally agree with that. I quite like your answer as well. So let's talk about training. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you need to train 7 days a week. You need to be doing this amount of training, you know, this amount of cardio. Can you just tell me what is the ideal amount of days you should be training a week in your opinion?
Right. So I can attack this question from two angles, really. Outside of lockdown, when we're in our normal day-to-day routine, dependent on what your energy expenditure is throughout the day, if you're office-based, then I believe personally you can do something every day. Yeah. The majority of your day is spent inactive, sitting down, bad posture, low calorie burnage, and then you're consuming X, Y, and Z. I understand that the mind might need a bit more of a rest, but the benefits behind a 20, 30-minute workout is going to do your mind an absolute wonder by getting that done. Inside lockdown, again, I would agree, dependent on what it is you're doing. I'm teaching, for example, 5 classes a week, shall I say, for my squad, Monday to Friday, but I'm also during the midweek doing 3 runs a week as well. They're not because I'm inactive, that's because of a kind of mental escapism for me. It's my time, and I find that it really does me good just to kind of get out there, zone out, and start my day right. I do that at 6:30 in the mornings. On a weekend, if I am pretty beasted, I will listen to my body, right? And again, leading back to the previous question, your body is your body, yeah? Only you know how you're feeling. And I shared somebody's post up yesterday regarding rest days and when they're should be scheduled and when is the right time to do it. Only you know that, yeah? If you wake up and you are genuinely in bits, then listen to the body, yeah? Same when it comes to your injuries. Listen to the body, it talks to you for a reason. If you're feeling good, there are low intensity exercises that you can do. It doesn't have to always be pushing yourself to the maximum. Rest days really relates back to what form of exercise it is you're doing. If you're doing 3 exercise runs back to back, then I would have maybe the 4th day out. If you're new to exercise and you're doing 2 back-to-back runs a week, maybe have the 3rd day off. Again, only you know what your body's telling you. But me personally, I think at the moment, everybody can do a little bit every day. And where people go wrong is they assume that a walk isn't classed as exercise. So therefore they think, oh, well, if I'm going for a walk, I'm still having a rest day. That's fine. If that's your rest day, then use it as an active recovery day, that still works. It's still fine.
So the next question is, I think most people might want to know is, how do you get rid of muffin tops, bat wings, inner thigh bulge, or any other bulge that they could possibly have, I'm assuming?
So there's big arguments around this, and if I had a pound for every time somebody asked me, I'd be sitting on serious golden eggs right now. But the truth of it is, and as much as you may not want to hear this, there are particular exercises that can be done to target those areas that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
But during a weight loss process or program or journey, you can't actually pinpoint where we lose weight, right? And that's the truth of it, right? It ultimately boils down to what exercises that you're involved in and what you're doing, how much a calorie deficit you're in, yeah? And that doesn't mean to say follow these silly under 1,000 calorie diets or 1,200 calories. I'm not a believer in that. Not many people know, but I don't ever count my calories. Very, very rarely have I ever counted my calories. It's more so about the amount of good foods that I'm indulging in, focusing on my moderation and my portion control, which I'm sure you're very aware of.
Yeah.
My downfall is that even when I'm eating good foods, I still have a lot of the good food. So I'm a greedy, greedy eater. Yeah. I have big plates, even if I'm having, it could be a really clean, salad or so on. What might be considered a decent portion for somebody might be a starter for me. So I eat too much, even of the good stuff sometimes. Hence the reason why I might be exceeding my calories sometimes. But you can't really target the muffin tops, the bat wings and so on when it comes to weight loss, but you can access those through exercises such as, tricep dips. The gut area is very much down to your nutrition. So when the term you might have heard is, abs are made in the kitchen, there is some element of truth around that, If you don't prepare your meals and you're going opting for the easy option, then those, that gut region is going to get bigger. It is going to lead to kind of more dangerous kind of health risks as well. We know that obviously fat around the region and the organs leads closer to the heart, which then can lead to obviously risk of heart disease, heart attack, strokes. So I might not have given you the answer you wanted with an ideal, these are what you need to do to get rid of bat wings, these are what you need to do to get rid of muffin tops, but focus on enjoying the process, learning to educate yourself on nutrition, and just when you're losing weight, overall, it will come down in all areas, Some people tend to as well, dependent on our body shape, which I must mention as well. There are 3 different body types. So you've got your ectomorph, your mesomorph, and your endomorph, right? And I know many people might think this is getting a little bit technical now, but just really simple terms, an ectomorph is considered like a jockey, quite slim and slender. Then you've got the endomorph, which is a bit more rounded, kind of tends to carry fat a bit easier. And then you've got your mesomorph, who tends to be a lot more lean and made up a lot more muscle. So again, depending on what one you tend to be, might also determine where you carry your fat deposits around the body. So that's also important to remember. And again, like we said, everything leads back to individuality and what your body is, right?
So that takes me to the next question, nutrition. So we talked about your portion control, you talk about the food that you're eating, the good food. What do you think, or what role do you think nutrition plays? Because obviously, I totally believe in nutrition. So from a PT's perspective, what is your opinion on nutrition?
My honest opinion?
Yeah.
It's more than the training.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the truth. Regardless of whether your goal is weight loss, regardless of whether it's shredding for a bodybuilding competition, regardless of whether it's muscle building, everything boils down to the nutrition. Yeah. What are you feeding your body with? What is the fuel? What's its purpose? You know, and this is why when I mentioned previously about educating yourself about the importance of nutrition, this is why, right? People fail not because they're going to the gym 5 times a week and you see that person year on year looking the same, if not getting bigger, or maybe not putting on the muscle mass that they need to. Remember that people don't always go to the gym just to lose weight. Some people go to the gym to get bigger. Yeah, that might sound quite alien to a lot of old school people. You know, a lot of my family, for example, used to say, "Why do you train so much? You don't need to lose weight." I used to say, "I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm trying to put on size. If anything, I'm going to the gym. I'm putting my body under a certain amount of stress, whether it be through my muscle building training. But outside of the gym is where all the magic happens. Not only just through nutrition, but through your sleep. People need to treat their sleep as a part of their workout. It is when we grow. It is when we repair the muscles. It is when everything replenishes itself back to kind of restoring its normality again, yeah? Again, not to go too technical, but our muscle fibers, for example, when they're broken down, they're torn. And then it's through our nutrition and the protein intake that then rebuilds those fibers. And that's why muscles get bigger. That's what, you know, that's why on a volume, it becomes more dense. But yeah, nutrition is everything.
Last question. So can you tell us where we can find you on your social media, and how can people reach out to you if they need to?
So my social media, my Instagram is sgpt_. On there, you'll be able to contact me. You can chuck me a DM if wish. Follow me. I always follow back. There's a lot of content on there. There's so much free content on there. You can also go and find some of my workouts via the YouTube page and the channel on there. Again, if you type in SGPT home workouts, they will come up. Through the Instagram page, you are able to then see a bit more insight regarding the squad membership that's available. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, Facebook's the same, but my Instagram is where it's mainly active. I tend to be quite visual on there. I put a lot of stuff every day without fail. And you get a real insight as to who's on board and the family unit that we've created, not just through lockdown, but through the years of me doing this, and the wonderful people that I've met, like yourself, Sylvia.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure that speaking to you today. Obviously, getting an insight from a PT. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. I'm just so excited about what's to come for you, and I'm happy that our viewers get to meet you personally. So once again, thank you for taking this time to speak to me. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and thank you for having me. Take care.
Take care. Bye.